Rest Castle, he's too good. I don't think the Spurs should rest. Did he make it to 65 games yet? Chat, did we make it to 65 games? Rookie of the year? Is it set in stone yet? We need him to make that 65. Did we make it to 65? I'm bad at math. Did he make it? Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I understand now. I understand what you guys are saying. So let's just talk about this game a little bit. So San Antonio Spurs stayed in the fight the entire time. Once again, another game in which the third quarter was a little shaky, right? I don't know what it is about coming out of the half. I don't understand. I do like that they're starting off pretty strong. Second quarter, they finished strong. But most importantly, in these games, you got to finish off the game strong. You got to finish off the half strong. So they did in the second quarter, then they did again in the fourth quarter, right? And we know for a fact now that this is something that Chris Paul has been emphasizing to the guys as well. Like he said the other night, that one thing that he wants to emphasize is how different games are in the last 5 minutes. That is a whole different ball game, and you have to lock in, right? And it seems like the Spurs have been doing a pretty decent job at that. So you definitely see the influence from Chris Paul in that regard. Even if you're dissatisfied with some of the playing on the court or how well he's been doing, at least defensively, you can at least sit back and say, with confidence that he is helping the team. Like he is helping for the long-term development of our players. You love to see it. You love to see it. So how did I feel about this game in general? I guess we'll just talk about some standouts here. One thing that I really loved, okay, let's start with Keldon. One thing that I loved this game is that Keldon finished very strong. Like very strong. And I'm not just saying on the offensive end. I felt as if defensively Keldon was pretty good as well on that end. So I thought overall nothing negative to say about Keldon this game. Nothing whatsoever. I thought that he finished strong, and that's not something that I guess this is going to be negative. What the heck is that? All right. I know this probably is going to be negative. Not something that I think that he can keep up for like long periods of time, but I will say that he's been finishing pretty strong. In this game, he finished very strong, like really strong. Keldon winning me back, to be honest. Won't go that far, but he was excuse me. He was very impactful at the end of this game. Huge part. Won't say that he's without him we don't come back, but I will say that he was a big part of it, right? He was a big part of it. So let me get that out the way. There's like no negativity, by the way, about this game. So if you're wanting to hear some criticisms, nothing really, to be real. Nothing really. Another positive, Blake Wesley getting minutes. I will never forgive you guys. I don't think it was a lot of people on this channel in particular. I think most of the heat that I got for this was actually on Twitter. I will not I will not forgive everybody that told me that Blake Wesley shouldn't get minutes at all. When people told me, and I'm not kidding here, I remember tweeting this out on a myriad of occasions, and it was a whole discourse. Okay, it was a whole discourse amongst Spurs Twitter in which saying Blake Wesley should not get minutes. He's not good enough. It was insane. It was insane. Just because the coach, I think people jump the gun way too often. Like they see the coach isn't doing something, so therefore it's right. And I don't think that's always the case, right? I do trust the San Antonio Spurs as a franchise, like significantly. I think that we're a really good franchise. I do trust them most of the time. But something like this, nah. I'm not convinced that because Mitch Johnson didn't play Blake Wesley, that Blake Wesley's a bad player now. I didn't think that whatsoever. And I think a lot of people jumped the gun with that. It was always there's a reason he's not playing. Like the same thing with Sohan, right? Sohan wasn't getting the minutes that he should. He should have been starting for a while, right? Like he is a starter. You can't have him come off the bench because he's versatile in that regard, but he is a starter. And not having him get starter minutes, we suffered defensively because of it. But there were people saying, well, there's a reason he's not good enough. No, you're jumping the gun here. You're jumping to conclusions. That just because something is happening doesn't mean there's a reason, or at least a good reason for it to happen, right? I think a chunk of it was due to his injuries earlier in the season, but near the end of this thing, the bigger reason why certain players weren't getting minutes was because they were trying to make sure the vets get theirs, right? Like Chris Paul having to start with De'Aaron Fox was ridiculous. But hey, just because there might be a reason, it doesn't mean it's a good reason. And we're kind of seeing that now. Sochan is a starter. He's a very good player. Is he a superstar? No, not expecting him to be. But my God, he is important to the Spurs' future. And if you don't believe that, you don't know basketball. I'm just going to say it that blatant. It might be mean, but I'm just going to be real, okay? And I never called myself like a basketball genius or anything like that, right? There's plenty of people that know basketball way better than me. But I'm sorry, guys. Sochan, I think I can recognize a good player. Sochan does all the important things that you need to see in playoff series, right? The way that he gets his points, the way that he defends, his versatility on who he can guard, where you can put him, what position you can put him in, like all of these things is very important when you get into a playoff series. Very important. And he's going to show out then, but right now, people aren't going to see how good he actually is unless he's putting up performances like this and he has to go 11 for 17. I really hate that. It's very unfortunate. But yeah, he literally has to go 11 for 17 for people to say, oh yeah, actually he's pretty good. He's been good. Harrison Barnes, he has some really key moments in this game, especially in the fourth quarter. He had a really big three for us at the end of that thing. Devin Vassell, he was good. Defensively, he was pretty good. I think, I don't know if it was last live stream, guys. Was it a couple live streams ago where I was like, I thought Devin Vassell was a good facilitator. And there was someone in the chat that was like, really? You really think that? It's like, yeah, Devin Vassell's a good facilitator. He's actually a better facilitator than I expected him to be coming to the Spurs through that draft. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be any of that. I thought he was just going to be kind of like a 3-and-D guy, and that's it. But no, he's more than that. So he has 7 assists this game. Steph Castle, Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. So while shooting wise wasn't the best, 6 for 14 is not good. 0 for 3 from behind the arc isn't good. He did have a really important layup near the end of this game. And then along with those 14 assists, kind of insane. We were absolutely able to lean on him to be the primary point guard, and he did a great job. So you love to see that. 14 assists is kind of crazy. And that's the most assists by any rookie this season, by the way. We just need a backup center. We need a lot of things. We'll get into that in another segment. Sandro, he didn't play that much. But 13 minutes, 1 for 4. We can't expect him to put up 34 points again. Champagnie, I still love me some Champagnie. And like I said, Keldon and Blake Wesley. I'm glad that Blake Wesley is getting minutes and Keldon did great. So overall, it was really good, man. It was really good. This game in particular, another thing too, I don't want to just keep harping on this, but they have to put Sochan at the center position, especially in this game when the only other big man that you played was Mamu. And my God, bro, he is very impressive. But with the 76ers, you can kind of afford to do that. You can afford to do that. Okay, we weren't going against the best cream of the crop, if we're being real. So, yeah. The San Antonio Spurs have a record of 7-14 and have averaged 116 points per game without Victor Wembanyama this season. They did good. They've been doing good offensively. I think they're worst defensively, best offensively. So, there's that. But those are my thoughts about the game. I just thought we played hard. We finished halves off well. I'm glad that some of the haters are coming around, but honestly, it's starting to get a little irritating. Like I don't know what to tell you. He's a good player. But it's been nice, man. It's been nice. And I know some people are kind of worried, like, oh my gosh, are we winning too much? But I wouldn't really worry about it, guys. Let's get as many wins as we possibly can. It's fine. When Wemby went down, I made the assumption that the Spurs would be pretty 500 since him going down, and they kind of have been that. Last 6 games have been impressive though. 4-2 over our last 6 games, but they're pretty they're pretty hot and cold, right? You don't. This is the reality of it. We're gonna go 500 till the end of the season. 40 wins still possible. Here, let's look at our schedule. Let's see. They would only be able to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they would only be able to lose 3. So let's see some guaranteed losses on this. Cleveland is a guaranteed loss. Maybe. I don't know. I think it is, though. Boston, a loss. So those are probably 2 losses right there, right off the bat. Orlando's probably a loss. So that's 3. You got Cleveland again. So then that's 4. Maybe. You would really have to... You're going to have a spoiler in here. At least one spoiler. It's possible, but a team like this that... You know, you have to change up who's out there so often. We don't have a true big outside of Biombo. I don't know if you can. You're gonna have to consistently win games. You're gonna have to go on a streak. I don't think the Spurs go on a crazy streak here. They're just not good enough to go on a crazy streak. So I don't think 40 wins is possible, to be honest. Golden State loss. Did I say Golden State? Yeah, see, yeah, you're gonna have shoot, even Denver might be a tough. You're gonna have some you got Golden State twice, you got Cleveland twice, and you can only lose 3. So I don't think it's possible, to be honest with you. No matter how hard we play, I don't think it's possible. Castle gonna have a monster game before the season ends. I felt like this was a monster game. 17 points, 14 assists, like. That's a pretty monster game for a rookie. They finished so maturely. Is that the word I'm looking for? It was so mature. Castle is so mature. Sohan's a year older. He played very maturely down the stretch. Like it was just a very mature win, I thought. Excluding Toronto, I don't see much winning. It's going to be... the Spurs might be able to turn one of these into a win, right? It really depends. Well, let's see. Golden State will more than likely still be fighting for a spot, so it's not like they're going to be sitting, right? They won't sit anybody. So where are they right now? There's... where are they ranked? Let's look at NBA standings. Dang, what the heck was that? Okay. There's 6. And it's going to be a tight race. They're going to be fighting. They don't want to be in that play-in. They're going to be fighting, so they're going to play all their guys. Cavs have a pretty nice... But they're on a 3-game losing streak. But they have a pretty nice gap between them and the Celtics. So is it possible for them to sit some guys? Let's see. Not this game, definitely. Maybe when we get to April. I guess it just depends on what it looks like. If Boston loses a few more, Cleveland might sit some guys for this game. See, when we get to the point where we're banking on teams to just sit players, then yeah, I don't think 40 is not possible, guys. But be happy. This is like way better. We're already way better than we were last season. We got 8 extra wins than last season, and we still have 13 games left. Our schedule is crazy. What's left isn't that bad. If we were a better team, if we had Wemby and everything, I think it's a little easier. When did Wemby go down? Right here? February 20th? When right after All-Star? Yeah, see, we've been pretty 500 since then. Well, good stuff, though. Extra happy the 76ers lost. I don't want their pick to go to the Thunder. It's top 7 protected, I think. Oh, dang, you looking at other teams right now. I'm just worried about us. I'm happy we made it to 30. Look, before the season started, most of us, including myself, said the Spurs would win 35 games. After like a week, I changed that and I was like, yeah, I think the Spurs can make it to 45 or 44. I think 44 was my goal. But then after everything that went down with Popovich being out, Wemby, it's very obvious that wasn't going to be the case anymore. So, but what everyone thought was 35. So if you ask me if I think the Spurs get to 35, undoubtedly they will undoubtedly get to 35 wins, which is really good. That's what most of us expected before the season started. So that's really good. Castle and Sohan starting sucks for our draft, but great for development. It's okay. Dude, we're going to lose a lot more games. Look at this. Look what's left, man. Actually. Yeah, where are the Nuggets? Nuggets third. Yeah, Nuggets third in the West. We're going to lose a lot more games. It's not humanly possible for us to win these games. Like these teams would have to either sit players or just massively mess up. No, and that's not me saying we're a trash team or anything. It's just I just don't think it's possible. Orlando might be more possible than I thought, but Denver, Golden State, Boston, Cleveland, like these teams are fighting right now. We're just not gonna. Anyways, it's difficult but not impossible. Have you seen The Godfather Part 2? I have seen The Godfather. Anything is possible, right? But let's be real.